All right, guys, I'm getting ready to go live on Facebook again. Let's try some of these comments. All right, let me get back to the screen here. Oh, and text messages are not going through. People are texting me, and it's actually not coming through. So I don't know what's wrong with my phone. It's something to do with AT&T. Anyway, you guys, I'm going live on Facebook. Okay, well, let me tell you guys what happened. Apparently, 2 seconds after I got done doing that video yesterday, Larry Krohn went into some kind of rage and put some video stating, "I'm angry." Larry, if you watch my show, you would know that's all fake anger. And that I had little or no skill. You're going to have a hard time selling that one. But then what he did was formed a cyber lynch mob and sent them all to attack me. I was warned that he would do that, and I said, no, I don't think he'll do that. I wouldn't do that, I said, I don't think he'll do that. Well, he did it. And gets all these people. I'm going to be honest with you, Larry. You're going to have to get a bigger dog. Because if you think that these little yappers, Peter Kane is your guard dog, stop it, Larry. Stop it. That's the biggest, if that's the biggest gun, go back to your stable and get a bigger gun. But I was also informed that you don't even do this full time. And now I'm even more discouraged that you don't even do this full time. That it's not your passion. Dogs are not your passion. If they were, when I look at these people like Alice and Cher and Mike, this is these people's passion. They get up, I look at their training rooms and I see all the equipment that I have. They even have more stuff than me. I copy them now, because that's their passion. When I see that girl, Alice, this is this girl's everything. This is this girl, just like me. It's her everything. Dogs are these people's everything. They're not your everything, Larry. And that's the problem I have. And then to form this ridiculous cyber lynch mob, some girl from Unleash Canine, oh, and then some other woman put on there, hi, JC. She put, this is the most unprofessional thing I've ever seen. Well, that was until she saw the comment I left to her comment. Then became, so never set the standard that that's the worst thing you've ever seen, lady, because right after that, it got even worse. And Mike knows what I'm talking about because that's their favorite word to use over there in the UK. Am I wrong? Oh, I bet a lot of people call Russell Brand that. Anyway, but yeah, so that's what's really, really upsetting me. And if you said to me, how many dogs have you collar conditioned in your career, starting from when I started this business, which was in 1991, because I always used the collar. I'm going to tell you the only possible way I have to gauge that is when I first started, maybe after the first 5 years or something. So maybe let's just ballpark it 20 years ago. I got these contracts. Hi, JC. I'm getting 2 pit bulls in too for Christmas, JC, to train. So I got these contracts, and there was 500 of them. And I still have some left. I probably still have at least maybe 100 some left. So that means I've collar conditioned only, because when people say I've trained thousands of dogs, that's not impossible. So if I collar conditioned, let's just lowball it and say 350 client dogs in the last 20 years. And if you say, well, that doesn't sound like very many. Well, it was a lot of work, I can assure you. So if you're going to dismiss the work of somebody that's in the last 20 years, collar conditioned 300, that's just client dogs, not my own personal dogs. That's pretty bad, Larry. It's not your passion. It's my passion. I eat, drink, and sleep this every single day. You do this part-time. And these people, that's what's killing me. These people that are watching your videos, you telling, and I'll tell you what really got me disliking you, Larry, was people telling me that this guy is telling these people don't use the pager. You've got dog trainers. There's people in their 20s right now picking up that pager. If you think 10 years from there, they're not going to be ahead of the people that you're saying don't use the pager. Hi, Ishak. I saw that you work at the television station. Maybe I can get a job there. If this, apparently I have no skill, dog training thing isn't working out. So that's my problem. And people like JC, this is their passion. This is their everything. They eat, sleep, and drink this stuff, and you don't. You don't. And I know you're mad because I said you should start working out. I say that to everybody. I say that to everybody. You should go find my videos from like 3 years ago. I was big as a house. I was huge. Huge. I started running. Anyway, so that's, I think it's a disservice to these people to tell them don't use the pager, use this methodology, dismiss any work that's been done with the pager, and then to send this ridiculous cyber lynch mob. I'll tell you who that Peter Kane is. He's Professor George or whatever that guy's name is 40 years later. All these misogynistic comments. Oh, I'm an ex-stripper. Oh, please. That's what he says to every woman. And then right after that, I was a crack whore. Because he couldn't hear what I was saying. I was mumbling. I said, Peter, you're going deaf. I'm not mumbling, So I finally got rid of him. But, if that's the biggest dog you've got in your stable, Larry, go back. Go back to your page, because apparently it's all blowing up on there, and find a bigger dog to come at me. And it's ridiculous. You're a full-grown man. So you're going to form a cyber lynch mob to come after some trainer, as you say, who has little or no skill. And I'm going to tell you the blowback of doing that, Larry, because now if you search Larry Krohn, my video comes up. Right? Because, and I'm going to tell you a couple of reasons why. One, I'm a YouTube partner. Two, you changed the algorithms by sending all those people to that video. You changed the algorithms on YouTube. And so now you made that video pop up at the top of the search results. And, I don't even know you, only just by your work, So I'm not going to like anybody that says don't use the pager and don't explore the pager. You're never going to ram down the American public or anybody's throat that using stimulus is better. You're just not. If that training that you were doing was the peak of your work, it's ridiculous. We're so far past that, and that's what's really bothering me. You're doing a disservice, and I'll tell you, I figured out why you won't buy the Chameleon, Larry, because the only person that promotes you is Greg. So unless you use that round remote, you think Greg's going to put a video of you using the Chameleon on his thing? I don't think so. And any serious pro, if you've gotten to the point that that's your everything, and training dogs with e-collars is my everything. I don't know how it ended up that way, but it is. It's my everything. And it's my life's work. And I will spend the rest of my life figuring out bigger, better, faster ways to do it. Not just saying, this is how we use an e-collar. And we hit them with the stem. And it's so far beyond that. And to form a cyber lynch mob, come on. And they don't have any teeth. It was like a bunch of toothless chihuahuas coming at me. Hi, Reggie. So, that's the deal. People want animated, happy dogs. Am I wrong, you guys? They want animated, happy dogs. And you can get that with the pager. And it's so much more than just replacing the pager, the stimulus with the pager. It's the most fascinating thing I've ever seen. And I'm not even easily fascinated. You can load motion into that thing. So if your insult to me, Larry, was, your dogs jump up in the air too much, I'd say, you got me. Because they do, and they didn't used to. There was one original video, though. I'm going to go find that, of one of the puppies that was in Marley and Me. Her name was Piper, and it was an old video. It's probably, the dog's like 9 years old now, so the video is probably like 8 years old. But I stumbled on one of them, and I saw I think that's maybe where I started learning that you could use it to flip them and stuff. Because that dog was a flipper, and so I must have learned it back then. So if 8 years I learned how to flip them, well, you see what the result was. So maybe people shouldn't embark on this path of, these dogs flipping up in the air. But, that's what people like. And electronic collar training, you got to just think of it differently. The inability of people to think of it differently is what's holding it back. What's holding it back? I'm doing the best I can to find people with talent. So this work lives on. And that's what I said to Peter Kane after all his misogynistic. I said, Peter, your work will die with you. It'll never be carried on because there's nothing to it. If you said your training does not bear all these technical aspects that can be written down so that other people can do it, I would say, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Yes, it does, because other people can create it. I've seen them do it. The first person that ever did was this guy in Australia. Their whole family loved me. And I was amazed. This guy took a Ridgeback and trained it with my ebook. Anyway, guys, I'm going to work on rewriting the ebook. And I know I failed all of you by not having, enough written material or whatever to help you guys understand this. I want you to know I'm trying. But, it is a disservice to people to be a part-time e-collar trainer and go present yourself as an expert. I would like to know who your mentor is, Larry, because I will go up any day, all day long, and say Jim and Phyllis Dobbs. They invented the low-level stimulus method. They're the ones that helped me when I was the biggest goofus. God only knows. Thank God they didn't have videos back then. Who knows what kind of work I was putting out. People seem to like it, though, and they would, a couple different things happened that made me get the clients that I did. And one was the sister of the guy that was the producer at Channel 6. Couldn't get over the way this dog was acting different. They didn't really know about e-collars back then. Any training that anybody had seen, it didn't involve off-leash recalls. So, that's job one. If you're going to do nothing else. And I'm thinking of starting a franchise, JC. You may want to get in that on Mike too. Recalls Are Us, where you can just, honestly, I wish there was a computer program we could run this stuff through and help motivate people to do it bigger, better, faster, not stand around saying hit the stem on a long line. If you're doing that, and I've said this a million times, you're training a dog to come on a long line. You're not training a dog to come, and I feel like I just discover new stuff every day. So, and if you said how, the pager caused me to fall into a portal. The pager caused me to fall into a portal last Tuesday. And I'll admit, Larry, before last Tuesday, I was this no skill or little skill or whatever it was person. But as of last Tuesday, I kind of figured it all out. So, I'm not the form a cyber lynch mob type. I don't need to, Larry. I don't need anybody to defend me against you. You're going to have to go back in your stable and you're going to have to get the biggest gun you've got. And even then, I'm not going to believe them any more than you believe me when I say you don't know what you're doing. The fact that you won't even explore the pager, based on who? Jeff Gellman? So is Jeff Gellman your mentor? I mean, stop it. That you wouldn't want to do better, that you would dismiss the pager based on what? I don't know. Collar conditioning dogs for 2 weeks. How many dogs have you collar conditioned in the last 20 years? Because if you said 350, I don't believe you. And I've got a 2-month minimum. I don't train them for 2 weeks, you guys. I have a 2-month minimum. And I've gotten to the point where I can tell people, if you can't leave them for 2 months, I can't do anything because I understand it takes that long as a bare bones minimum to affect any kind of permanent behavior change in a dog. You cannot train them in 2 weeks. It won't have a permanent effect. If you said, how long does it take these owners to untrain a dog that was trained for 2 weeks? Probably about a week. They're not going to sit there. You're not going to give pet owners a freaking collar and tell them hit the nick. They're not going to do it. Whereas if you tell them to hit the pager, they will do it. They will do it. They don't have a reason not to do it. So anyway, that's what's going on, guys. I'm going to go out there and try to get some of these advanced dogs. But I just, any of you guys that, I don't even charge people. Maybe that's my problem. Maybe these people charge, and that's, maybe my free Skype lessons and stuff, they don't think they have any value. But, I do that for people because I can see things And anybody looking in from the outside, that's what you have to understand. Depending on the eye they're seeing, is going to be able to see things that you're not able to see while they're occurring. I think videotape, that's Krohn's property. Oh, I don't even want to tell you all the stuff she's done. Birdie bit Laura through the fence yesterday, put a big bruise on her leg. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. Yeah, they're all a mess. Shoe Bottom getting in a fight with that dog. Did you see that, Mike? She's a monster. And then after that, she got Laura's water bottle and took it over in the corner and was attacking every dog that came near it. So anyway, I'm going to go out there if you guys have any requests. But that's what I want you to think of. Hi, Deb. The problem I have with Larry Krohn is now the cyber lynch mob. But, you know, that you're not saying to people, you know, that you're flat out saying, I've got a problem with anybody that says, don't use the pager. I really do. I really, really do. So I have a problem with you, Larry. I have a problem. And it was mean, but if you, I promise, so help me God, if you start running like I did 2 years ago, well, I did run and then I didn't do it for a couple years. And then I started running again. So you will be happy. You'll thank me. You hate me now. But a year from now, when you can run, I mean, you have a perfect place to run in this subdivision. There's no cars, you know. So you're cyber lynch mob. Farik! I'll tell you, Farik isn't exactly going for it. Crash is trying to play with the bulldog. Anyway, that's what's going on. And I wish that I could say that your cyber lynch mob upset me and I couldn't sleep. I'm so flatline, honestly. Maybe I'm like, this is what I was thinking of. Maybe I'm like one of these dogs. And I did goad you, Larry. I'm going to be honest with you. It was goading. And the straw that broke the back was that Midnight Bullies girl. And if that's one of your stable of talent. Yeah, I saw her videos too. But you're going to be doing the same training 5 years from now if you're not careful. If you're not careful. If you look back at my videos 5 years ago and say you're doing the same stuff, not. You know, I look back at those videos and say, you know, how did you not see this stuff? How did you not see this stuff? And if you said, well, there's a collar where you can use 90% pager and 10% nick, who wouldn't want that? And it's really not even that. It ends up being like 97% pager, 3% nick, except for maybe in pits or something, you know, and that's going to end up being, that might be, those last 2 pits I had, that little black one that I love so much, you know, he was maybe 90% pager, 10% nick, or 5% nick and 5% constant. You know, so the chance of that being cumulative in that dog is a lot less than if you're just constantly doing constant. And all you've got to do, and please don't tell me you've never hit it too high, Larry. That's what's killing me. You're taking these young dog trainers in their 20s, you're saying don't use the pager. And then when whatever it was I said, whatever problem I had with you yesterday, I honestly don't even remember what it was. You then run to your page and form a cyber lynch mob and say that I don't have any skill. And I wish I could say that upset me, but it doesn't. I didn't have any skill before last Tuesday, but today I do. I'm fixing to go out there right now and show you guys. So anyway, we'll be, oh, hi, Cindy. How's the little bulldog puppies? I want you to start doing puppy recall with them, girl. I bet they would be cute. You know what would be cute too, Cindy? Those little bulldogs in slow-mo. If you got all of them running and then put it in slow-mo, it would be super, super cute. Anyway, you guys, so that's what's going on. I'm expecting more assaults from the cyber lynch mob today. But yeah, the only thing that really, I was spent all day giggling about that woman that said, this is the most unprofessional thing I've ever seen. That was until she saw my comment. So yeah, I don't. You know, and maybe Facebook has made me like this, you know, maybe that's the culture or whatever, you know, that you can just, you know, and I don't go on chat boards. And, you know, he had a couple of very experienced little chat board chompers, as I call them, you know, to come on there and, oh, pick your apart personally and say you don't know how to train. And then when you say, where's your videos? They say, I don't upload to social media. Oh, no, this guy was a Brit. This guy was a Brit. I got to find out his name, Mike. You can see if you see this guy on the chat boards. So I'll act out. I don't upload to social media because my work is all very secretive. Oh, please. You know, if you don't have balls enough to upload, you know, because it does take balls because you are going to get attacked, you know. So that's, hey, JD. Oh, JD, oh, I didn't tell you. You were so right. He formed a cyber lynch mob and started attacking me. But they didn't have any teeth. It was like a bunch of toothless chihuahuas coming after me. So I've blocked a few of them, but I'm still letting a few of them on there, you know, run their little, but the video only got less than 300 views. So at least that kind of puts it in perspective for me, you guys, that, okay, so if there's 300 people that are listening, hi, Susan. If there's 300 people that are listening to this guy, if we can just save a few of them, you know, if we can just save a few of them, and I did get a bunch of new trainer friends yesterday. So I want you guys to know this is my passion. This is what I have devoted my life to doing. And if you need help, I will help you. I will help you. You know, and you won't find anybody that says I won't. So you've got to disregard these people that say don't use the pager. I mean, that would be like if you had a cell phone, because we understand how conscious these dogs are now. That's why I won't use a pinch collar or anything. They're watching my hands so close. I would never want them to think that was me, that was me. So, you know, and it's not like I don't use the nick and stuff. I mean, you've got to. It's, you know, they are dogs. And if they've got a predatory mind, you know, you've got to be able to control that. You've got to be able to do the best. You got to channel it and do the best you can to control it. That's all it is. I mean, you can't fix that or anything like that, you know. So anyway, you guys, I'm going to go out there. Hi, Anthony. I'm going to go out there and try to run through some of these advanced dogs. And I want all of you guys at home working with that pager and, you know, figuring out. And if you run into a problem, tell me, because almost every single caller has a pager on it. I'm understanding now that you need to get the stronger pager, you know, unless you can afford the Chameleon, and it is expensive. But, you know, if you're a dog trainer and you're in your 50s and you can't, and honestly, I know that sounds terrible, but like when people call me, they want to buy a dog or something, because, you know, my puppies are the more expensive type, but they're in their 50s and they can't afford it. I have to say to myself, if you're in your 50s and you can't afford something that you really want in life, that's not very good. You know, I mean, I understand, but, you know, if that's your passion or whatever, you know, so you've just got to get out there and put the work in and understand that the pager we're only scratching the tip of the iceberg. We're only seeing the tip of the iceberg of what this thing can do. That's the freaky part. If you would ask me 10 years, can you load motion into this pager? I'd say, what are you talking about? Load motion? How can you load motion into a collar? I probably wouldn't have said that, but, you know, I now understand that you can do that somehow, you know, and that you can tap into that motion. That's why all these dogs jump around like they do. You know, whenever you're seeing them going airborne, that's me, boom, hitting that pager, and it's releasing the motion. I don't completely understand it myself. I need all of you to get out there in the trenches and work on this thing and tell me anything, you know, that you can discover about this tool, because we are just scratching the tip of the iceberg. You know, and I do give Greg props for inventing that collar that had multiple pagers, because I think I did tell him to do that at one time. And I did think I needed that at one time. And I think we still do need that. I think, you know, the future collar would be ideally much smaller. Oh my God, Crash is chewing on the table. Hang on. OMG! Crashy, I want you to show everybody what a little monster you are. This is what Crash does. Look how big she is. I can even carry her. That's what she does. I can hold and carry this dog because I've done it since she was a puppy. She doesn't struggle at all. She just gives me kisses. So that's a byproduct. And I would not, if you said, what if you would have had that dog 15 years ago? I don't think I would have been able, I don't think I would have, I would have done a disservice to the dog because I wouldn't understand what I know now. You know, and I think the most important thing to anybody, and Anthony, I know that that's your dream too, is develop something in dogs. People whose passion, hi, Abraham. People whose, and I know that's your passion too, Abraham. There's people whose everything is dog. I breed dogs. I've got German Shepherds. I've got a German Shepherd that I paid a lot of money from Germany. He was out of a VA dog. I think he was actually V-rated or maybe he was SG in the young dog class or something. He was shown at the Seeker Show. And I've got studs from Carrybrook and Ridgeview. I mean, you know, there's a difference, but, you know, people who it's their everything. That's my problem, Larry. It isn't your everything. It isn't your passion in life. And if you are because if it was, you would quit your day job and you would do this full time. And it's a scary leap. I know. I started with nothing. I was out in the middle of nowhere. I was out in the middle of nowhere in 1991 telling people this is what we'd use as an electronic collar. I don't even, and I've faced racism my whole life, Larry. If you think these little yapping chihuahua dogs coming at me saying, you don't know how to train is affecting me. I faced racism my whole life. So that doesn't do anything to me. Let's just say I'm fortified. And I am making a big push. Anybody that wants to get out there with that page, this is where we need to be doing, people. And I'm going to tell you, 10 years from now, you'll thank me. You will say, thank you for telling us to develop methodologies with this pager, because there's going to be a big chasm. And all these people that are doing, so at least I realized if that video would have had 10,000 views, I would have said, oh my God, we're in trouble. It only had 300 views. And, only like 6 of your little cyber lynch mob made it over there. One guy from Israel. And I said, people in Israel don't know about the electronic collar. The only person that knows about it maybe is Aaron Crive, the competitive dog trainer. So I said, go ask Aaron about my work, because he's my friend. So anyway, that's all it is, you guys. I'm going to go out there and run through some stuff. And if you guys have any questions or whatever, and this is going to be the last... I'll find somebody else who's saying don't use the pager. And, and that was my problem. That's my problem with you, Larry. If you could just say, not that you will now, that you should at least explore that. And, the work that this woman has done with puppies and stuff does have little validity. Sure, her recalls aren't as fast as mine, and her advanced trained retrieves are not anywhere near as good as mine, but, there is a little validity maybe here. Not to say I have little or no skill. That's going to be a hard sell, Larry. You're going to have to go back in your stable and get the biggest gun you've got and come at you. And if you said, who is the biggest gun you've got in your stable? Mark Patton. Mark has believed in me. I've known Mark for 20 years. And somebody like that believing me, honestly, and Michael believing in me and Jackie and all those people believing in me, So you not believing in me, honestly, doesn't hold very much water. And the cyber lynch mob, I actually told JD this guy won't do that. Oh, he did, But your cyber lynch mob they didn't have any teeth. They didn't have any, because people with teeth, well, they're busy chewing on other things, not chewing up people on chat boards and stuff. So anyway, you guys, I'm going out there, and I know you guys are thinking, maybe she is crazy. You might want to get a hold of Breck. He's always threatening to Baker Act me. So, who knows? This may be, fodder for that. So, anyway, you guys, I'm under attack from the cyber lynch mob, but we're just having minimal reactions. But I actually told JD he won't do that. And he did. So, you were right, JD. So, anyway, I'm going to go out there right now and run through some dogs. Bye, guys. So that's the thing, Larry. Go get a bigger dog to attack me. You're going to have to go get, and that's my problem with you. You need to go explain, you need to take my videos with the pager and explain why it isn't working. Because that's what's bothering me. You're crippling all these young dog trainers who this is their passion. This is what these people are going to count on to earn a living, you know, and you're telling them the wrong way to do it. If you said Jim and Phyllis Dobbs are my mentors, I'd say I don't believe you. And there isn't anybody else with that method. They're the ones that invented it. They're the ones that invented it in the early 90s. So it isn't valid anymore. It's not. It's not valid for pets. If you're trying to say that you're some big time competition trainer, even then that wouldn't apply to pets. I mean, you know. So anyway, that's the deal, Larry. Your little cyber lynch mob was ridiculous. I'm a bully. How can I be a bully? I stated that long lines were for pet owners, and then you said I was obsessed with you, so you know you didn't realize I would snap. Oh my God, crush. So that's my problem with it. I mean, to sit there and cripple people is what you're doing. Don't. Everything that can be done with stimulus has been done. Mike Lardy won the Open 5, 6, 7 times, maybe more. They're still doing it with, you know. But everything that can be done with that has been done. And we need to explore better ways to communicate with dogs. And if you said your dogs are more animated than mine, I don't see it, Larry. I don't see it. So, you know, it was mean to say that. But if you start running, I promise you, you'll be happy. You will be happy. And you'll be glad, you know. So, anyway, bye, guys.